product profile for you guys, and today we have an awesome new release from Avios. We have the Zazzy. All right, so this guy is a 1300 millimeter low wing sport model, 4S size battery. You're getting about 5 to 6 minutes of flight time, all plug and fly construction, so extremely easy to put together. But Stuart is gonna take you through all the specs and the unboxing and construction later on in this video. But we have her all set up and ready to go right now, so let's take her up for some fly. Take off very simple, not much rudder needed. I take off on low rates. She comes right off the ground. So the first thing we're gonna do, since I already have this particular Zazzy trimmed out, we're gonna come in for a fast pass, show you how she gets along on full throttle, 4S, plenty of power. So here we go, all the power in. Nice and quick. Do a 4-point roll across the flight line here. Excellent control, everything's nice and crisp. And this is all on low rates too, nothing crazy with the rates going on right now. She flies great with low rates. So now we come around again, we'll put her into a loop. There we go. Power out, right back down. Plenty of power for that. Again, low rates, plenty of control. So now we'll do my favorite maneuver, bring her by for a knife edge pass. And see how great she looks with this color scheme on it as we pass by. That wing is beautiful, it's big, it looks great. Holds knife edge no problem with a little bit of speed. Push the rudder over, just keeps on going, effortless. So as you guys can see, great flying plane. If you're looking for a higher performance sports model, the Zazzy is definitely something you're going to want to check out. The scheme is great, no issues with orientation, very different top and bottom schemes on the wing, so when you're flying upside down or far away from you, no issues knowing which way you're going. Extremely easy to fly inverted. I just had a little bit of down elevator there to help it a little bit, but nothing crazy. You don't have to push too far on the stick. So now we're gonna take her up. We'll do some split S's, we'll do some Immelmans, we'll do some snaps. Still flies great doing all that stuff, so up we go. Come over the top here. Roll nice and level. Come back up. Do a stall turn to the left. Kicks right over with that rudder. Turn to snap. Excellent snaps, really crisp. Even just on mid rates right now, I have triple rates set up and that's all mid rates. Now we're gonna climb up higher, put her into a nice spin on a down line. Going up. All right, roll her over, come on down. Stops right on a dime when you let go of the controls. Overall, just great performing plane. Out, so we're taking her downwind, gonna set her up for a landing. Extremely easy to land, just take your power out, slide right in. That is the Zazzy. As you can see, excellent flying plane. If you're looking for a new high performance model, you're definitely gonna wanna check this out. But now Stuart is gonna take you through an unboxing, a build, and run you down on all the specs. So we're gonna throw it over to Stuart in Australia.
Hello and welcome to the build portion of this product profile for the new Avios Zazzy. Thanks again to Max and the guys out in New York. Apologies first of all because you could hear and see it was actually quite windy when they were filming that, but on the plus side, the Zazzy handled that wind extremely well, as you can see. Second apology, I've still got a cold, so I might cough and splutter a bit throughout this build sequence. Again, apologies for that. Third apology, if you're looking for a long and protracted build portion of this product profile, sorry to disappoint you, but you will not find one, simply because the Zazzy goes together with just a few of these bolts in just a matter of minutes. So what I'm going to do is talk to you about the spec, touch on that. I'm going to touch on some of the build and assembly and construction aspects of the Avios Zazzy, because it does feature Avios' light core technology, or HobbyKing's light core technology, and we'll come to that in just a minute. And then we'll just have a very quick time-lapse sequence of how it assembles, because it does assemble, as I said, extraordinarily quickly. Literally just need to bolt on, and I do mean bolt because these are machine screws, i.e. bolts. Bolt on the tail, bolt on the wing, screw on, in this case, the 12x6 carbon propeller and black plastic spinner, and bolt the undercarriage on. And the important thing with being bolt is that means the thread, or the plastic thread that you usually get associated with a screw, won't burr and wear away. So that means you can undo the model and put it back together again indefinitely. Like I did with this one, in fact, because I don't have a box for this one because this one was already assembled and we've been flying it. So you may see a little bit of grass here and there. That's not how it's going to come out the box. That's just because I've taken it apart only to put it back again, together again for this product profile. So let's move on to the spec, and I'll give you more details on the Avios Zazzy. Now, spec-wise, this is just a fraction over 1300mm span, the model, when you get it assembled. Now, that may not sound big, but you'll see at the end, and you've probably seen already from the video, that when it's assembled, it's actually a very sizable looking model, and that's simply because it's got a lot of wing area. It's a nice chunky fuselage and a nice broad tailplane towards the rear there, so it's actually a very, very good sport size model, and that's the key thing. This is definitely aimed at the intermediate sports pilot. If you're coming from, say, the Tundra, for example, and you want your first good low wing model, the Zazzy is definitely going to be the ticket for you. Or if you're down at the club or a bigger park and you're looking for a good all-round sports model, the Zazzy is definitely for you. So the motor is a Aerostar 900 kV brushless outrunner. That comes with, actually I can show you, as we take off the hatch, that comes with a Aerostar 50 amp speed controller pre-installed. That's of course with the obligatory XT60 connector. You will see that all the servo leads are nicely pre-wired for you, and you'll also probably see, if I get my hand out of the way, there's actually a minimal of servo leads and extensions. Very, very good, and we'll come on to that in just a second. You'll see two of the servos pre-installed in the rear, and then of course there's two more in the wings for the ailerons. These are 9-gram high torque metal geared digital servos, so very good servos and perfectly matched to this type of sports aerobatic model, and they really give the Zazzy in the air lots of maneuvering power, if you like. Very good servos, and they suit well to the Zazzy. And just nice little things. It's got lightning openings, if you like, along the fuselage. We've designed it to be light and rigid, and the plywood tray has some nice branding on there as well. I think if I turn it up the other way, you can see the branding. So it's the small things as well as the big things with the Zazzy, because what we're doing with Avios is pushing it to the next level. You've seen previous offerings from Avios, that's great, but you'll see with the Avios Zazzy that we've really upped the game. This is really going to be the benchmark for the essentially bigger Durafly model. So with Avios, if you're looking for a bigger version of a Durafly model or a bigger foamy, then you want to be checking out Avios, especially now with new powers at the helm. You're going to be seeing much better quality in terms of fit and finish and overall performance with Avios models. Anyway, back to the specs. We've mentioned the wingspan, mentioned the motor, speed controller and servos, and essentially that's pretty much it. It's got a very light wing loading and it needs it to perform excellent aerobatics, which it does do, as you saw in the video, and it's an all-round 4-channel sports model. So in terms of spec, that's pretty much it, other than the included 12x6 carbon propeller that you can see there. And then when you're all done and dusted and you got your battery in, oh actually whilst we're there, battery before I get to the hatch, it will run on anything from a 3000 to 4000 milliamp hour 4-cell battery. Slide it in the front there, strap it on with the included battery strap, and it's got the anti-slip foam as well, as standard as you'll see with all newer Durafly models, and then going forward with all the new releases of new Avios models too. So you don't even need Velcro on your battery. This strap and that anti-slip matting make the battery stay in place extraordinarily well. Now on that battery, on that recommended battery, you can actually get anything from say 6.5 right up to 8 minutes flight time, depending on your flying abilities and how you perform, whether you're going full out all the time or you're mixing up on your throttle settings. But anyway, good generous flight times on the recommended pack. And the hatch, which I was getting to initially, it's very nicely cleanly molded, and it just pops in like so, and it's got a lock mechanism, and there you go, the hatch is not going anywhere. Okay, so now one final thing before I actually do the assembly. You get very generous wing joining spar with the wing, and I'll show you how that fits in. But what I want to touch on first is this really neat feature that we've worked into the Zazzy, and it's this PCB connector. It's a step up certainly from the PCB connector you saw in the Tundra. The reason being is it's just that much more wing area to play with and that much more space to play with, so we're able to go up to a bigger connector. And what that means is on the wing seat, you've got the opposing side to the PCB, and when you slide the wing on, I'll take this panel. First of all, I'll just show you how easily the spar goes in. Push that in, nice snug fit. And if I get this wing panel, yep, here we go. You don't need to worry about wires or anything like that. So most of you will be able to fit this into the back of your car because of its size, but if you can't, it's a very, very simple assembly on the wing. So you're at the field, that's the wing connected and ready to go. And then all you'll need to do is put in the 2 machine screws at the bottom there. So it's a super easy model to assemble down at the field and disassemble when you need to go home quickly because your wife's waiting for you or calling you. And that is one of the key aspects of the Zazzy, that it pretty much just falls together with these little bolts. So without further ado, I'm going to do exactly that, assemble the model, and then we'll come back and finish off the product profile. Okay, there we are. I told you it would be very quick, and it was indeed, because it does just fall together. Now, as you can see, as I said before, it's really quite a sizable model once you get it together. It may only say 1300mm on the website, which is probably around 47 inch, something like that. But actually, when you get it together, it's a really sizable aircraft, which is great because it means it's got great presence in the air, and visually it's very stunning too. Now, as we're talking about visuals, another thing you'll notice with the Avios Zazzy is just how nicely it's finished. It comes out of the box with these pre-applied decals, or decals if you like, and they are very, very thick and hardy. It also has the colour match paint pre-applied as well, of course. So out of the box, it assembles very quickly. It looks stunning, especially once it's together, and it does go together very quickly indeed. Now, the all-important feature, one of the features that really makes the Zazzy perform is, I hold this up here, the light core technology. Now, for those of you that don't know, light core, essentially, and I'll hold this wing up to the light so you can see, but what we've done with the wing and to some extent with the fuselage, it's molded in 2 parts and they're hollowed out on the inside, so it's a very rigid, it's got ribbing, so it's a very rigid but very lightweight structure, and then we reinforce that with some additional spars. So essentially with that sandwich you get a hollow but very strong and very lightweight construction, which really benefits the wing loading, which in turn really benefits the flight performance and even flight time of the Zazzy and other models with the light core technology. So look out for more light core stuff coming from more Avios models. Now we're almost done. There's just one more little trick I want to show you. The Zazzy is a sports model and or a club model if you like, and as such we know that you'll be flying from rougher grass parks or club strips. But some of you might see these spats or pants if you like, I like to call them spats, on the undercarriage thing. Oh no, that's not possibly going to work on my lumpy grass field. However, the Zazzy has a trick up its sleeve, so I just turn it over. First of all, you'll get a chance to see the underside, lift this plate off. Usually you can glue it on or Velcro it on. I've just taped it on for ease. I'm going to quickly undo this, and there'll be a little bit of time lapse. You don't want to watch me undoing bolts, and then I'll come back with the tip for the Avios Zazzy and rougher grass fields. And we're back. So during that time lapse, you saw what I did. I removed the spats or pants. I know some of you like to call them, but I'll call them spats. And I've turned the undercarriage 180 degrees. Now what that's done, it's raised the nose and given the propeller more ground clearance, but also you'll see that the undercarriage is now more forward rigged. So in general, the ground handling and the ground clearance, especially on those rougher fields, is now significantly improved. Now back to this, you can see, okay, it doesn't look as attractive, but it's far more functional for those rougher surfaces. Now these are the stock wheels as they come with the pants off or the spats off, but of course at this point you can now fit bigger wheels as big as you like, just to give additional ground clearance. All we've had to supply in addition to that are some M4 or 4mm bolts just to lock on the shaft, but those wheels turn well enough now, and of course you can really go to town and make it a much more refined setup if you want to go this route. So the Zazzy itself is a very versatile aircraft. So if you look underneath this video, you'll find a link to the listing. If you don't see it in the international warehouse, then don't worry, it's in all regional warehouses, because as with Durafly, Avios is always globally released. Spare parts will be available too. That's about it from me and the new Avios Zazzy product profile. We know you guys will enjoy this. We'll look forward to seeing your comments and your reviews as well. So until the next product profile, I guess I'll see you next time.